The official definition of a dirty fighter is someone who uses every possible way to beat someone, and especially the most treacherous. Now, in the case of MMA, it's a bit different. People often abuse the rules, eye poking. They do all sorts of illegal moves just to get an advantage into a fight. And today I'm going to be talking about the dirtiest fighter in each weight class. So, this is a pretty interesting one. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I've done some research, I've looked at the rankings, and I have a list of 8 people who I think are the dirtiest fighters in each UFC weight class. Here we go. This is Winter's MMA. Starting off this list with flyweight, it's Manel Kape. For me, Manel Kape he's a very dirty fighter. There are suspicions he's on steroids for obvious reasons. Just look at that photo, man. I don't need to point it out. And he also frequently fouls. Eye pokes like that, those egregious ones against Asu Almabayev, fence grabs, really anything he can do to get an advantage. And Kape he's a very good fighter. He's above most people in his division. So I just don't see why he feels the need to cheat at the earliest convenience, He shouldn't do that, because it's gonna leave him out of opportunities. When he fights Kyoji Araguchi, I think he's gonna pull off some foul, and I think Kape might lose that fight, so he might get a point taken off of him and lose a decision, or even be disqualified in his next fight for cheating. So I don't know. He's just a very dirty fighter. I don't like him as a person. He's not a nice guy. Enough said on Manel Kape. This one kind of hurts to talk about because Figueiredo he's one of my favorite fighters, but let's face it, he's not an innocent guy. He headbutted Joseph Benavidez. He had that terrible low blow with Brandon Moreno. I think he headbutted Moreno in their 4th fight, the quadrilogy. So, yeah, and he also fence grabbed, like really badly fence grabbed in that fight with Alex Perez, to stop a takedown. So, I could go on. I don't see a reason to. Figueiredo, he's a dirty ass fighter, man. I got nothing else to say on him. Let me start off this entry by pointing out something funny I noticed. In this photo, you'll see right next to the number 5 in the featherweight division tag, it also says active, which, come on, it's a bit of a stretch. We're talking about Yair Rodriguez here, the crybaby who fights every 2 years. But this guy, he's a dirty fighter. He eye pokes. He had that head clash with Volkanovski. He did end up losing that one. He's just... It's always these long rangy fighters that end up eye poking and doing low blows, because they're always standing at range, and they fire off a kick or try, get a measurement of where they are, and then end up clipping their opponent in the cup or the eye, and it constantly happens. So Yair Rodriguez for featherweight. That Jeremy Stevens eye poke was terrible. 15 seconds into the fight as well. Somehow Stevens got booed out of that arena, even though it was not his fault. So Yair Rodriguez, I don't like you, man. That's the case with a lot of fighters on this list. I only got one person to enter into this list. Michael Chandler. See you at the adoption center. No, I'm just kidding. Let's be fair though. Michael Chandler is a dirty as hell fighter. Poked Justin Gaethje in the eye. Fish hooked Dustin Poirier. Hit Charles Oliveira in the head with about 40 back of the head shots. It's crazy. And yeah, he's cheated in almost every UFC fight he's had. And all the egregious fouls I've noticed are in the fights he ends up losing. Like Dustin, the second Charles fight. Yeah, he's very dirty, and then he tries to disguise it with this nice guy personality. I mean, I guess Michael Chandler is a nice guy, but he's trying to cover it up. He's trying to cover his dirty fighting up, and I don't like that. Yeah, Prime Ruzamar Palhares, he was a beast. Like, I would have been scared to fight him. You know, even in grappling, not even in MMA, because Ryan Hall, for example, Ryan Hall, he's the poor man's Ruzamar Palhares. Except Ryan Hall was nice about it. He was respectful. But once Palhares got your ankle or your heel, he would not let go. That ruined so many people's careers. And he eye gouged, he headbutted. It led to him losing his World Series fighting title, getting kicked out of the UFC. This guy, he was a menace, and he failed so many drug tests. Just look at the fella. I mean, he was scary. I would not let him anywhere near my legs, personally. Yeah, he was such a dirty fighter. Bonjour, je m'appelle Nessardine Imavov. Je suis un dirty fighter. He eye pokes. He grabs the fence, he headbutts. That fight with Chris Curtis was diabolical. A crazy clash of heads. He kicks grounded opponents. What can't he do? It's like his most recent fight, for example, Kaya Bahalya. To be fair, I'm gonna give Imavov some credit here. He just shut out Bahalya. He shut him down. But a big part of that was due to the fouls, the low blows, the eye pokes. He was piecing Bahalya up, don't get me wrong, but the fouls cannot be ignored. And this isn't a new thing. He has been doing this since he was in the UFC. This is inexcusable. I can't wait till he gets a title shot with Sean Strickland, and Strickland straightens him out. And for the second time, I might add. I'd like to start this saying that I know Jones spent the last few fights of his career at heavyweight, but all his major accomplishments were at light heavyweight, and he's more well known as a light heavyweight, so I'm just going to put him in this weight class. Now, I could make a whole video on all the fouls John Jones has done. That's not a bad idea, actually. Let me know if you want to see that. But I just added him in this list because he's the most famous foul artist in the UFC. His fighting style isn't even dirty. It's filthy. The oblique kicks aren't actually illegal. They're legal now. But they're still, they could injure you forever. The eye pokes, just horrible. Illegal moves. To be fair, the Matt Hamill fight, I don't think Jones knew the rules, and he should have won that fight fair and square. But the Anthony Smith illegal knee, Smith had every right to say, no, I'm not okay, and just take the belt. Because Jones was 1,000% in the wrong for that. And then he acts like, he's not even ashamed of it. There's a famous video of him just going, Jones poked me in the eye, the dirtiest fighter in the UFC. And then, pretending to cry. Which he deleted off of Twitter, by the way, after major backlash. Yeah, he is the most famous foul artist in the UFC. He's just, as well as the PEDs, I don't think he can truly be considered the GOAT. I just don't. I just don't think so. Bonjour, je m'appelle Cyril Khan. Je suis un dirty fighter. I hit people in the back of the head. I poke in the eyes, and I say it was accident. When Junior Dos Santos confronts me after I knock him out with shots to the back of the head, I say it was accident. Sorry, that was a terrible accent, but yeah, that Junior Dos Santos fight, that was just so annoying to me. JDS, he got knocked out, and Gon was just hitting him really badly in the back of the head. Like, I'm talking pretty bad damage. And JDS comes up to him after the fight and he's like, "Hey man, you hit me in the back of the head multiple times. That's not cool. That's not cool." And then Cyril Gahn was saying, "Oh no, it was an accident. It was an accident." And then I'm pretty sure he went in an interview and said he was fully in the right for doing that, and he thought JDS was just complaining. I might be wrong about that. Let me know down below. But yeah, and that Tom Aspinall fight, that's the first title fight to be called a no contest on the spot. Obviously, there's DC versus Cormier, but that was overturned. Yeah, and Tom Aspinall hasn't fought since. I know he hasn't been a very active fighter, but you know, him and Jones have single-handedly robbed Aspinall of a lengthy career. Because Aspinall was stuck so long waiting for that Jones fight that never materialized, and now he has eye damage that Gahn is responsible for. So I can't wait till Pereira schools this guy. All these guys are kind of underrated foulers. I know that's a weird thing to say, but just look at it. Aldo had that really bad fence grab against Chad Mendes. Egregious. Like, it changed the outcome of the fight. Because if Mendes had got that takedown, Aldo wouldn't have knocked him out before the bell of the first round. You know, mumble mouth Leon Edwards poking people in the eyes, Cheeto Vera hitting people after the bell, and, you know, kicking grounded opponents. Cormier at heavyweight, those eye pokes against Stipe, they were horrific. Like, terrible. So, yeah, those guys are pretty underrated foulers. This is Winters MMA. I have a new channel. I linked it in my bio, so if you want to check that out, I've posted a video on it yesterday. This was the dirtiest fighters for each UFC division. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you want me to do next in the comments. I'd appreciate if you subscribed. Peace out.